You might be hearing terms related to newer vehicles such as EcoBoost and Turbocharge. We're going to talk a little bit about turbochargers today, but first let's take a look at how engines work in the first place. A typical engine takes a mixture of gas and outside air, compresses it with a piston inside of a cylinder, and then ignites it with a spark plug. The expansion of the gases inside of the cylinder forces the piston into motion, creating the power needed to move the vehicle. Engines have multiple cylinders with pistons inside of them, and all of those pistons are connected to a common shaft that sends the power to the transmission. Each cylinder is sucking in outside air as the pistons move, which gets mixed with the fuel inside of the cylinder. In fact, there is a lot more air going in versus gas, and that mixture has to be just right. There can't be too much air mixed in with the gas, and vice versa. Of course, bigger engines create more power, but automakers are trying to meet strict new standards for fuel economy and emissions, so they're trying to squeeze every bit of power out of smaller and smaller engines, and that's not easy. So you might wonder, why don't they just spray more gas into smaller engines to create more power? Well, it's not that easy. Remember that for every little bit of gas that goes into the cylinder, a lot more air has to be mixed in to get it to ignite properly. As the engine runs, it will naturally draw outside air in to mix with the gas, but at some point it just can't draw any more air in on its own. Something has to force more air into the engine to mix with that additional gas. A turbocharger is basically an air compressor that uses exhaust gases coming out of the engine to turn a set of blades, seen in red in this video. Those blades are connected by a shaft to another set of blades where the air intake comes into the engine, seen as blue in the video. Those spinning blades on the intake force the additional air that's needed to mix with the gas inside of the engine to create more power, lower emissions, and improve fuel economy. In the past, turbos were mostly used on performance vehicles, but you're going to see them more and more often on newer vehicles because of those new strict standards. I don't want to frighten you away from getting a turbo on a new vehicle, but on the other hand, do some homework before you buy a vehicle that has one on it. You might have to pay a premium to get that turbo on the vehicle, and there are some studies that are coming out saying that the fuel economy claims might be a little bit overblown. For Channel 6 News, I'm Jim Champion, the Auto Guy.